To be back here in Grenada for the third time. My full name is Gertrude Ruwadzano Munyara Zimache. I did not want to challenge my sisters with all my names, but I was born on one of the most fascinating continents in the world. And what is the biggest honor for me today is that I come here representing your ancestors. Every time I get the opportunity to speak all over the world, I am reminded why I chose this skin. You know, people talk about having a sense of purpose. Why are you on this earth? Why do you do what you do? I know that when I incarnated as an African woman, my mission was to empower as many women and children all over the world as I could. And this came to me 2 weeks before I published my first book. I woke up that morning with words in my head that had to go down on paper. And I went to my computer and I started writing. And I realized at that point that my voice, my body, my very being in this incarnation is merely a channel the Creator is using to awaken the world. A lot of people ask me, Gertrude, are you the typical African woman? I can tell you bluntly now that no, I am not. What I do know is that I was born to be her voice and the voice of her children. So let me tell you a little bit about the typical African woman. In my country, and when I say my country, I am referring to the continent, from North to South Africa. The typical African woman is at the bottom of the food chain. The typical African woman is always the last to eat. Her role in society is to fetch the firewood, fetch the water, prepare the fields for sowing, sow the seed and harvest. And in most situations, she does this single-handedly. And at the end of her exhausting day, she is the last to eat the leftovers of her prepared meals. In my country, the typical African woman is physically and psychologically abused. In times of war, she is raped, and she personifies the downtrodden human being. Now, all this is happening to her. I ask you, where are you, my father, when my education was sacrificed? Where are you, my brother, when I toiled in the field and in the kitchen? Where are you, my mother, when my genitals are cut from my body with a sharp knife? Where are you, my sister? Where are you, my aunt? It is your strength that holds me down. In times of war, when I am gang raped, sometimes by 5, 6, 10 men, where are you, my father, when I am violated? Where are you, my God? Where are you, my fellow human beings? Why do you allow this to happen to me? So I was gifted with a voice. Some people sing, I do not sing, I speak. And since I came to Grenada in January this year, a young woman from Crayfish Bay, Lynette, reached out to me on the internet. This is why I'm here. She was trying to grow her business. She owns Crayfish Bay chocolates. I didn't have the money to help her, but I said, Lynette, I'm good at marketing. I would love to help you get your chocolate all over the world. And in one conversation, she said, Gertrude, why don't you come and visit me and see what I do? See how we produce the chocolate, how we pick it from the trees, how we ferment it, how we turn it into chocolate. And so I came, and it was the best decision I ever made. On the second day of my trip, she took me to La Luna and said, I want to introduce you to people in business. We were late, the taxi driver came late, We got there an hour late, and Bernardo, the man who owns La Luna, was meeting with Senator Brenda Hood. And he said, look, you girls are late, go into the restaurant, have something to eat, I'll see you afterwards. When he was finished with his meeting with the minister, he introduced us. And Minister Hood, I have to tell you, the minute our eyes clashed, I felt like I had met my sister from another life. We exchanged emails and business cards, and the day before I left the island, she invited me to her office and said, Gertrude, I have a vision, I have a passion, I have a dream for the women on this island. Help me create employment through the cooperatives. Would you come back? And I said yes. I came back and ran 2 workshops on batik. The process is cheap, it is simple, you use cornmeal for fabric painting. 60 women showed up to those 2 events. I come back this week to run the Women's Economic Forum, and I am blown away at the creativity that was generated from a 1-day workshop. What I've realized is that sometimes we sit on the acres of diamonds and we don't realize it. Grenada is a paradise. Do you know that the world is looking for organic food? You have a country that has virgin soil. There isn't a piece of land in Grenada where you drop a seed and it doesn't grow. That doesn't happen everywhere in the world. And I know that your government is working diligently to help the rural community in terms of economics. I sat with women this week who said to me, Gertrude, I'm a widow, I'm a single mom, I have a section of land, I can't work it alone. And I shared what we do in Africa is this. We have a process called maricho. And maricho is a process where a group of women get together, 5 or 6. We work on your fields today, we go to your field tomorrow, we go to her field the next day, and by the end of the week, all of our fields are tended to. So a lot of work can be achieved if we work as a collective. Ubuntu ngamuntu ngabantu is an African philosophy that says a person is only a person through other people. It's the condition of being human. For the human race to survive, we need to start working together. In Ubuntu, there is no you, there is no me, there is only we. And this party represents that. We quoted First Lady Michelle Obama earlier. There is no limit to what can be accomplished by women, especially when it comes to building a nation. So as I stand here, I know that I am not just here as Gertrude Mache. I have my grandmothers behind me. I have my great-grandmothers behind me. All the women who came before me stand with me right now. And for all of you, one of the things you have to remember is the strength that you have inside you already. You know, sometimes I try to imagine the psychological strength it took for your ancestors to be snatched from Africa by force, to be put on those slave ships, to travel hundreds of miles away from home. A lot died on those ships. Do you realize that? A lot of them didn't make it to this island. But your ancestors did. And you're standing here in 2017 because you have that strength in your DNA. It is in you. You live in a country where a government looks to its citizens to pull them up from the grassroots level. I've been to the farms of Grenada. I've seen what the government is trying to do to empower, especially economic empowerment. So how do you economically empower a woman? It's not just money. If a woman is being battered in her home, she cannot go to work if she has a black eye. If a woman doesn't have money to feed her children, she sometimes resorts to the worst things to try and survive. There are things that happen in our communities that we turn a blind eye to. We sat this week and talked with women on a wide range of topics, from domestic violence to business to spirituality. Stories that I keep hearing repeated all over the world wherever I go. And what breaks my heart is that the women in the community are aware of what's going on, don't lend support, don't lend a listening ear. Do you know, if you share a problem with someone else, it's a problem halved. In Africa, we believe the minute you share your problem with somebody else, it is halved. It is no longer your problem alone. The person you've told helps you carry that burden with. So please, do this for each other and do this for your society, do this for your communities. I believe that women are the backbone of society. We bear the children. We look after them. For the Honorable Minister Keith Mitchell to be here, he comes from a very strong woman. We need to thank her for the 9 months she spent carrying him. He would not be who he is if it wasn't for his mother, if it wasn't for his father, who taught him the values to nurture his community, to work for his people as diligently as he has done so far. You are lucky. I come from a country where we do not have this kind of leadership. I come from a country where women's rights are not heard. A country where I cannot give my political views. We got independence when I was 13 years old from the British. For the first time in my life, I walked into a supermarket. Before Zimbabwe had independence, black people had to go to the back of the shop and say what they wanted from a small window. My mother took me shopping the day after independence, and I remember picking bread and salt and sugar and going to the counter and paying. That to me was independence. I'm 50 years old, but I have never voted. By the time I was 18, our government had changed in terms of its political vision and mission, and I have never voted. Your government works for you. You elect all of these officials to work for you, and you need to exercise your right through your vote. And as members of the new National Party, it is your duty to educate. It is your duty to talk to every single person in your community. It is your duty to mobilize so that when the elections come, you help your leaders come back into power and continue their work. They say that the backbone to any society is the way that that society treats its women and its children. As you were all coming up and sharing what each constituency was doing, the outreach work in terms of feeding the elderly, the outreach work in terms of helping women in the battered shelters, helping with the children. The children of Grenada are yours. They belong to all of us. You can't turn a blind eye and say, the mother's not here. It's got nothing to do with me. In Africa, we believe that it takes a village to bring up a child. And that means if you see that young boy loitering in the street, being mischievous, you have the right as his mother to discipline him. You have to empower the young men in this community on how to behave, how to treat your daughters. It comes from you and no one else. So, I want to come back to Grenada. I am committed to helping empower as many women on this island who want to be empowered. We've talked about agriculture. We need to talk about our crafts and not take them for granted. You have an island that brings cruise ships. How many of you are selling your handmade products to those cruise ships? A missed economic opportunity to create employment for yourselves. You have organic soil. How many of you have got land you are not using right now to grow vegetables that can be sold on those cruise ships for export? So think a little bit beyond Grenada, the island. Think about how you can go internationally, have your land certified organic so that your food reaches Europe. Do you know I eat an organic mango in New Zealand and it costs me $8 for one mango. Why do I buy it? Because I grew up with organic food. I know what organic means. So value these natural resources that might not seem of value now, but if you harness and you come into the cooperatives and we find ways to create employment through the cooperatives, magic can happen. So, when you have worked hard and you have done well and you walk through the door of opportunity, do not slam that door behind you. You need to reach back and you need to give folks the same chances that help you to succeed. And again, I quote First President Michelle Obama. That is not something I made up. And we need to look to all of the female leaders in this room because they have paved the way for us. They have made it easy for us. All the young women in the audience, these are your role models. They're sitting here, making it easy for you to one day be sitting up here representing your country. Don't take that lightly. Do not take that lightly. This doesn't happen all over the world. So I thank you for having me here. Prime Minister, thank you for all the work that you are doing for Grenada. It is an example that should be copied all over the world by our leaders. Thank you.
I think she deserves a standing ovation, Sister Doll. Thank you so much. So if any